Awez, and today we're reacting to the hit of the Money Man by Media Gang Bros. You know how it is when it comes to this Media Gang Bros movies. It's usually just good entertainment, good information, just things that you didn't think you knew about South Africa, and how the criminal world is just, intricate. So without further ado, comment, like, subscribe, and let's go.
Ignatius Ego Mbambane was born in 1980 in Velkom, a young businessman with interest in telecommunications and engineering. He was also a beloved figure in the Free State. Known for bringing life to the festive season in Velkom, his most famous creation was the Beach on the Track Festival at Phakisa Raceway. Now, despite his wealth, those close to Ego described him as humble and approachable. But behind the scenes, his fortune came largely from lucrative state contracts, and his cheat code was his alleged close connection to former Free State Premier and ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule. In political and business circles,
something I notice about Ace when it comes to his whole stories over and over and over is that this Oki had almost his hand in every corrupt or political corruption that is coming out recently. I'm not saying that he was the only one that's corrupt, but from what we're seeing, that he might actually have been like the proper ringleader. And to make it worse, this Oki was our Minister of Police. So, yeah. Okay. That was a scary time.
he was known as the bagman, not because he literally carried Ace's bag,
still a scary
but
time
because
now.
he moved money where it needed to go, always on instructions from the big guy. According to businessman / entrepreneur Edwin Sodi, he first met Ego around 2010 at one of Mbambane's high-class events in Velkom. They exchanged numbers but didn't see each other again until around 2014, when Ego approached Sodi with a bold proposition. There was a major asbestos removal project in Gauteng in which Sodi was involved in, and Ego claimed he could unlock similar tender opportunities in the Free State because he had the connections. Now, if their companies formed a joint venture, they could secure the contract. Now, Sodi was intrigued, and according to him, Ego took full control of making it happen. Inside the Free State Department of Human Settlements, Ego allegedly had a powerful connection. Many believed that connection was Ace Magashule. Now, in the Free State, Ace's influence was absolute. When he spoke, everybody listened. Without following any proper tender process, the department awarded a massive asbestos removal contract worth 255 million rands to the joint venture between Ego and Edwin Sodi. But according to allegations, this money was never meant to remove any asbestos. Instead, it was to be split between Ace, Sodi, Ego and their comrades, funding a lifestyle of luxury and excess.
That's a stupid thing about South African corruption, though. It's like, gents, okay, cool, take the money. You know what? Take the money, right? But at least do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something with that money to contribute to what you were actually going out for. So almost like those, see, at least like Chinese corruption is a bit better. Because at least, okay, fine, they take the money, they do something, even if it's a horrible job, but they still do something. Here, they just take the money and be like, Awez. While also America, they much more cleaner. They clean. You don't even see it. You don't even see it. Right? To the point where some people don't even think there's corruption in America. That's how good they are. While here, they don't care. They're just a big to the whole country. Bruh.
Now, the state is trying to prove that Ace was the mastermind, controlling the flow of every cent. Now, in the Zondo Commission, Ace was labeled as a blesser because apparently he operates like one. There was no bidding, no competition for this tender. The deal was simply handed to these guys. Now, the 255 million rands was paid out in 10 separate tranches to the joint venture owned by Sodi and Ego. Each payment another step closer to what prosecutors claimed was a carefully orchestrated scheme. The first payment segment was 25 million rands. From that, Ace Magashule's secretary Cholota sent Ego the banking details of a travel agency and instructions. Then Ego deposited 250,000 rands to cover flights for 19 ANC delegates heading to Cuba for a political cause. Then came the 55,000 rands for school fees for a former judge, Refilo's daughter, who was studying in the USA. And this judge was suspended for dealing with the Guptas as well, so she was corrupt. Then there was 650,000 rands that was deposited to a dealership in Pietermaritzburg as a deposit for a Maserati for a senior department official. Then there was also a 600,000 rands that was paid to Tim Mukesi, who was the former head of the Human Settlements Department in the Free State, for a property investment. Then there was a 2 million rands that was also spent on a brand new Mercedes. These were some of the expenses, but these ones were the small transactions. Now the big money was moved through subcontracting, a classic laundering tactic. From the start, these guys never intended to do any work. Instead, they subcontracted the job to channel the funds. Now according to Sodi, the first subcontractor was Ego's friend, Sidney Radebe, whose company, Master Trader 232, had been struggling to secure contracts. Now Master Trader received around 44 million rands, if I'm not mistaken. But they also subcontracted the job to ORI Group or Ori Group, which was supposed to get 21 million rands but only received 6 million rands, leading them to take legal action. They were suing, but they didn't do any work as well.
What?
The payments went on and on until the last payment, that was 77.5 million rands, deposited straight into the joint venture account. Then Ego moved it to his own account. Now that amount was supposed to be split between Sodi and Ego as partners. But according to Sodi, Ego became greedy and he didn't split the cash. Now whenever he asked for his share, Ego gave him the runaround. Now the tension over this money poisoned their relationship and partnership. In June of 2017, Ego was behind the wheel of his 3 million rands Bentley, cruising through the busy Sandton traffic on Bowling Avenue. As the traffic lights turned red, he came to a stop. That's when it happened. A car parked on the side, two men stepped out, faces hidden behind balaclavas, rifles in hand. One approached from the front and the other from the driver's side. Realizing what was about to unfold, Ego tried to accelerate, but the traffic boxed him in. His Bentley bumped into the car ahead. The shooters opened fire, spraying the luxury vehicle with shots. Ego was hit multiple times and laid out instantly. Now without panic or rush, the shooters calmly returned to their vehicle and sped away into the city traffic.
Like, how do they have that type of confidence, bro? It's like, yo, wait, maybe they paid off the police. Maybe they paid off the police. Maybe let me not make assumptions that I don't want to get into.
Ego slumped forward on the steering wheel. Now the driver of the car in front, shook by the gunfire, sped off, leaving Ego's Bentley to roll forward on its own, drifting for almost 100 meters before smashing into a pole and coming to a stop. When the police and paramedics arrived, Ego was already gone, but what they found inside the car shocked them. He had apparently visited a bank ATM shortly before the attack. On the passenger seat was a plastic bag stuffed with 100 rand notes up to 50,000 rands cash. Then in the boot, papers were scattered and another 50,000 rands also scattered in the boot. Now Ego had been driving around Sandton with 1 million rands in a car, cash. After Ego's death, investigators uncovered a damning spreadsheet, a list of initials belonging to department officials allegedly paid for their role in awarding the 255 million rands asbestos tender to Sodi and Ego. One entry showed AM, which many believe stands for Ace Magashule, receiving 10 million rands. Another was TM, thought to be Tim Mukesi, the former head of Department of Human Settlements in the Free State, who had already been linked to a property payment. The spreadsheet was found on Sodi's computer, but Sodi claimed he knew nothing about it, insisting that Ego had created it in his office and that he never bothered to ask what it was for, a claim many see as an obvious lie. Now with Ego dead, Sodi has been pinning all the criminal and irregular activities on him,
the dead man,
knowing dead
on
man
the dead man
can't defend himself.
Exactly, bruh.
According to Soti's version, Ego masterminded the entire operation, from securing the tender to making payments to misrepresenting details in the tender application. They claimed their companies could safely remove asbestos, but in reality,
Dog, how can you be a part of a company, not even that, have a partnership with somebody and not know the business, the ins and outs, how much money you're getting, who's getting paid where and what? Bro, the money, there is a money trail. There is a literal money trail. And you're trying to tell me that you don't know about this money trail? That's what you're trying to tell me? Stop playing with us, bro. Stop playing with us, dog. So for real, stop playing with us.
they had no expertise at all. Soti says it was all Ego's doing. The money trail told its own story. Once the tender funds were paid into the joint venture's account, the money would be quickly transferred to Ego's company, 605 Consulting Solutions. From there, it was dispersed to relevant parties such as the travel agency for the Cuba trip or the US school fees for the judge's daughter, buying of luxury cars and other payments. Ego was the hub of the entire money flow. Now Awez Magashule's secretary would send him instructions on who to pay, how much and when. Then Ego made it happen without Awez having to lift a finger. A textbook tender scam. Ego was executed in June of 2017. Then 6 months later, in December of the same year, ANC held its National Elective Conference in Nasrec. The showdown where Jacob Zuma's faction went head-to-head with Cyril Ramaphosa's camp. Then Ramaphosa's side won. Almost. The only Zuma ally to survive the purge was Awez Magashule, who clinched the position of ANC Secretary General, narrowly beating Senzo Mchunu. Now Ramaphosa's camp was not happy about that. Awez was a known Zuma loyalist and an outspoken critic of Ramaphosa. The first move to unseat him came quickly.
So basically, they all corrupt, these people. These people are all corrupt. Because we just saw this person, I think, a few videos ago, where he was also a part of some business. I can't remember what it was. Or was it because of the Ntlantla situation? He was a part of the Ntlantla situation. So, bro, I think, nah, even when they're trying to like move around and do all these conferences, do all these accusations and all these things, bruh, it doesn't mean that just because the seat has changed, they will start caring, bro. It's almost just like nobles in the olden days, right? Where a noble could conquer you, but nigga, it won't really change your situation. You won't get a better life, bro. Like, crazy. Literally crazy. It's not crazy, but it's crazy that it's happening in this day and age.
They challenged the Free State voting results, the very province where Awez had secured most of his support. Ramaphosa's faction claimed the numbers were boosted by ghost delegates to tilt the outcome in Awez's favor, but without proof, Awez kept his place in the ANC's top 6. Then came the second strike, the step-aside rule. Now under this policy, any ANC member charged with corruption was required to vacate their position until their case was resolved in court. It became the weapon that Ramaphosa's camp used to force out Awez Magashule out of power. Ego's death might be the reason Awez walks free. Maybe. Right now, the only direct link to him is his secretary Cholota. But the real money man, the one who connected everyone, is gone.
Cholota might not see next year. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? They're still scrambling right now. They're still trying to figure out how to move around with this Ntlantla situation. But I'm pretty sure the secretary might not see next year. It's just a guess. We'll see though. We'll see.
The same applies to Soti. Without Ego, the trade leading to all the corrupt officials and shady business people who received kickbacks from the asbestos tender has gone cold. Now it looks like Ego was the one who made payments on behalf of others, keeping their hands clean. And it's easier now to put all the blame on him since he's no longer around.
It's very easy now.
After Ego's death, his company 605 Consulting Solutions was taken over by his wife, Michelle. Almost immediately, SARS and the hawks came knocking. From the millions in irregular payments that had flowed through 605 accounts, SARS now wants its cut, 20 million rands. Now everyone else has taken their slice of the pie and disappeared, leaving Igor's estate to face the tax bill. But 605 didn't shut down. After Michelle took over, the Department of Human Settlements awarded the company another contract with 2 million rands. Then soon after, 605 paid 500,000 rands to another company. That company belonged to two sisters who just happened to be business partners with Ace Magashule's son, Tatu. Igor's death is a crucial piece in Ace Magashule's case, yet somehow it's been quietly brushed aside. Even the media barely touched it. A high-profile figure laid down in the heart of Sandton, a place surrounded by cameras. Yet after 8 years, the police have no idea who did it. But after Mkhize's bombshell revelations, the picture is becoming clearer. High-profile hits like these often remain unsolved because the people behind them are part of the government or the tender cartels. So what really happened? Was Sodi furious over the 77.5 million Igor kept for himself? Or were Ace's people tying up loose ends before the ANC elections, cutting off any trade that could lead back to the recipients of the asbestos tender money?
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. But this was a long time ago too, right? This was a long time ago because this talking about 2017, bro. 2017, I was still in grade 7. So a very long time ago. But to think that, yo, bro, like, I don't know how to say this, but like, I know how to say this. I'm just keep on saying I don't know how to say this. But like, to think that it's been like this. You know what I'm saying? It's been like this. Because I didn't really know much about politics. I didn't want to get myself involved in this type of energy because I don't like getting myself involved in things that I can't control. It's just how it is. But yeah, dog, it's crazy. Either way though, that was a good video from Media Gang Bros. So thank you for watching the rest of the video. Thank you for chilling with your own. Comment, like, subscribe. And until next time, I've been the Lost One. We out.